You can sing along to every BTS song but still can't hold a conversation in Korean. Today, let's talk about how to actually learn Korean with K-pop. We're going to break Korean down into 6 areas and see how effective K-pop really is for each one. I'll be using BTS songs as examples throughout because I'm a huge fan myself. I've been listening since 피땀 눈물 came out, so it's been 10 years now. I'm Seungwan and you're watching Talk to Me in Korean. First up, vocabulary. How effective is K-pop when it comes to vocabulary? I think it's 5 out of 5. Now that doesn't mean K-pop is some perfect all-in-one solution for vocabulary. It just means that out of all 6 areas, this is where K-pop genuinely pulls its weight. When you hear this phrase, 보고 싶다, 보고 싶다, isn't there a song immediately come to your mind?
보고 싶다 이렇게 말하니까 더 보고 싶다
보고 싶다. You know what it means, right? I miss you, I wanna see you. That phrase shows up 15 times in 봄날, spring day. And because you're hearing it inside this song, with all that emotion behind it, it just sticks. If you love that song, I'm pretty sure you never had to sit down to memorize 보고 싶다. It's just in your head already. That's the power of K-pop for vocabulary. One thing to watch out for though, there's this line in one of my favorite songs, Young Forever. When rain and snow falls from above, the correct standard Korean word is 내리다, 내리다. But in Young Forever, they changed 내리다 to 날이다. And here's the thing, 날이다 doesn't exist in the dictionary. It's poetic license, the kind of thing you'd find in literature. In daily conversations, everyone says 비 내리는 하늘 for rainy sky, not 비 나리는 하늘. BTS did it intentionally to create a more lyrical, dreamlike feeling. And that's exactly the point. K-pop is great for picking up vocabulary, but a lot of it leans poetic. So whenever you learn something from a song, just do a quick check. Is it standard Korean? Also, to boost your vocabulary skills, make a vocabulary list for each song you love. Next, listening. Is K-pop effective for listening? I'll give it a 3. Wait, K-pop is literally music. How does it only get 3 for listening? You know what? The first time I heard 피땀 눈물, blood, sweat, and tears, I genuinely could not make out what J-Hope was saying in the chorus. I had to look at the lyrics. 원해 많이 많이 is 원내 만내 많이 in this song. 원내 만내 많이. Don't get me wrong, I love the song, but my point is not many songs are great for training your ear. Look, 널 위해서라면 난 슬퍼도 기쁜 척 할 수가 있었어. Do you know which song that's from?
날 위해서라면 난 슬퍼도 기쁜 척 할 수가 있었어
Quite different, right? Songs don't have the natural intonation of real speech. They have melodies instead. So, you need to ask yourself, am I getting used to Korean intonation or just getting used to that particular song's melody?
사랑이 사랑만은 너 완벽하게 네 모든 약점들은 다 숨겨지게
사랑만으로 약점들은 다. In natural speech, those flow together smoothly, but in the song they get stretched and broken up to, fit the beat. 사랑만으로 약점들은 다. So if you actually want to develop your listening skills, you need to hear Korean being spoken, not sung. What should you listen to?
Watch a lot of BTS videos.
There you go. But videos where they're not performing, not singing.
맛은 있네요.
주머니에 손 넣어야 되는 거야?
This kind of content is the best for getting used to natural, unscripted Korean. But it's gonna sound fast and hard at first. So if you're more of a beginner, start with interviews or award ceremony speeches. These work well because they're speaking slowly, clearly, and carefully. Great starting point.
되게 자연스럽고 자유로워지더라고요. 예, 예.
보니까 그냥 지금의 제가 만들어진 것 같아서 그래서 저는
Next, speaking. Speaking gets 2 stars. The reason it's low is similar to listening. There's a real gap between singing and actual speech. But on top of that, speaking requires output. Real conversation means responding on the spot to whatever the other person says or does. Singing alone can't build that skill. And there's another risk. Singing along without thinking about it can actually work against you.
이루어지지 않는 꿈 속에서 피할 수 없는 꽃을 키웠어
Can you spot where the pronunciation differs from real Korean? It's 이루어. Song is 이루어.
이루어지지 않는 꿈
이루어지다 is a shortened form of 이루어지다, meaning to come true or to be achieved. But in the song, Lear gets pronounced like an English R, giving you that smooth 이뤄 sound. 이루어지다, 이루어지다. This is actually very, very common in K-pop. If you're just copying what you hear without knowing this, those mispronunciations can sneak into your actual speech before you even realize it. Here's what I recommend instead. Take a non-singing video that you've already watched a bunch of times. Find a 1-minute segment you like and work through it like this. Step 1. Listen and repeat right after they say, which is called shadowing.
4시까지 하고
4시까지 하고
6시 반쯤에 일어나서
6시 반쯤에 일어나서. Step 2. Once you're comfortable, try speaking along in real time with one of the people on screen.
4시까지 하고 6시 반쯤에 일어나서
Step 3. Pause the video and try to say their lines yourself from memory.
보통 몇 시에 자서 그 당시에는 몇 시에 일어나왔습니까?
4시까지 하고 한 6시 반쯤 일어나서
4시까지 하고
Do this consistently and your speaking will dramatically improve. And grammar. I'll be straight with you. 1 star. Not effective.
이 모든 건 우연이 아니니까 운명을 찾아낸 둘이니까
으니까 shows up 17 times in DNA. That's even more than 보고 싶다 in Spring Day. If you've listened to this song a lot and looked up the translation, you probably know that it means something like because or since. But can you actually use this grammar point to build your own sentences? Here's the basic rule. If the verb stem ends in a consonant, you add 으니까. If it ends in a vowel, just 니까. So 먹다 becomes 먹으니까, 가다 becomes 가니까. Pretty simple, right? So let's try one. Take 살다 to live and make it because I live. What do you get? 살으니까, 살니까? Both are wrong. It's 사니까. The consonant lir drops. And there are more rules. So this is the core difference between picking up words from songs and actually learning grammar. Vocabulary, you can pull out and use it, like 피, 땀, 눈물. Grammar has to be adjusted and conjugated depending on the situation, and that takes understanding the underlying rules. If you've been into K-pop for a while, I'm sure there's actually a lot of grammar floating around in your head already. It's just scattered, little fragments that haven't been connected yet. Once those pieces start linking up, your Korean can improve really fast. And that's exactly what our Talk to Me Korean core grammar courses are designed to help with. I promise there will be a lot of, oh, that's what that means moments. We're giving you free access to the level 1 lessons for 7 days for the moment you sign up. Check the link below. Reading. Here's where things get interesting again, because K-pop can actually be really useful for reading. There's just one condition. You need to know Hangul, the Korean writing system. If you don't know Hangul, K-pop gives you 0 for reading and writing. You can read Hangul in 1 hour. We have a free Hangul lesson on our YouTube channel, so go check it out. Once you can read Hangul, even just following along with the lyrics as a song plays is already reading practice. And since translations are so easy to find online, try pulling up the original Korean and the English side by side and actually comparing them. Why was this translated this way? That one question is honestly worth a lot. And here's something a lot of people overlook. Stop scrolling past the posts your bias puts up on Reverse or social media like they're just cute little updates. Some are short, some are long, some are casual, and there are emoji, abbreviations, typos, slang words. Each member also has a completely different writing style that comes through in their posts, which honestly makes it fun too. So next time, before you hit that translate button, try to piece it together on your own first. Maybe skip RM's post for now. Try Jimin's or Jin's instead. Alright, the last one, writing, 3 stars. Writing connects directly to reading. The more Korean you read, the more naturally it starts feeding into how you write. But unlike reading, writing actually requires you to produce something. Passive exposure alone won't get you there. One really simple thing you can try is handwriting lyrics. Just pick a song you love and copy the lyrics out by hand. If you're a beginner, it's a great way to get comfortable with what Hangul actually looks like on the page, the shapes, the spacing, and if you're an intermediate level or above, it slows you down in a good way. You're not just skimming anymore. You actually stop and look at each word, each sentence, and that's when you start noticing things you'd normally fly right past. And for more actual output, leave a comment on your bias social media in Korean. It doesn't have to be impressive. Start with something you already know from a song. For example, drop a 보고 싶다 under a photo. Then try 2 words, 3 words, then a full sentence. Borrow phrases from song titles or lyrics you already know and just put them to use. The difference between someone who only ever consumes this content and someone who actively engages with all of it, 6 months to a year from now, it's a completely different story. Alright, we've gone through all 6 areas. Here's what it looks like. What that empty space means is K-pop alone can take you this far and no further. Those gaps won't fill in on their own. That's why I went through specific tips and resources for each area, so you actually know what to do about them. But here's what I really wanted to say. K-pop is not a perfect textbook, but if you're a fan, it can be more powerful than any textbook out there. The time you spend following your bias, watching their content, keeping up with everything they do, that's not separate from studying Korean. That can be studying Korean, if you let it. If K-pop or a specific song has helped your Korean in a way that actually worked, or if you hit a wall at some point and had to find your way through it, please share your story in the comments for everyone. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next video.